Ciao, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to edit together these 27 photos. And the reason why I'm going to continue creating these tutorials, testing the Kodak Portra 400 presets and profiles that I created is because I want to show you how this works on several camera bodies, lenses, lighting situations, and skin tones. So I'm going to show you more in the future of these. In today's video, we are going to test this catalog that I actually shot in Galicia, Spain. As you can see, I have included very different lighting conditions. The skin tone is always mine, but as you can see from the raw files here, all of these are very different. The second reason is that I created an updated version of the presets. And if you have already purchased this, you'll find those in your portal and you'll be notified via email every single time there is an update. And all of those are included. This is the list. I think these are almost 50 presets. And there is a workflow in mind. If you have seen my previous video, you know, and if not, welcome back. We are going to do a test edit. So, first of all, as you know, I like to crop my photos 4:3. Let's not spend too much time on that. In fact, I am going to copy the crop, just the crop, the aspect ratio, sorry, so that I don't have to do that in the future. And the first thing that I'm going to do is open the profiles. As you can see, we have 6. The first one is the Portra 400 Classic. Just hovering over this is going to give you a preview on the photo. This is the Classic and this is the Soft. Once you have decided which one you prefer, as you can see, the skin tone in my arm changes. You can then choose if you like neutral shadows or warm shadows, or if you decided to go with the softer version, you can decide if you like better the neutral shadows or the warm shadows. For my personal preferences, I prefer cooler shadows, so I'm definitely going to pick this one, but of course you can choose another. And then you will start with the editor's blueprint tools. I always start by clicking on lens correction and testing if an increasing exposure by half of a stop is going to help me. I think I want to just add less than that, and I'm always even checking the histogram. I am then going to test the all soft, the contrast, highlight soft. So one thing I didn't mention in the previous video that I really want to mention here is that all of these are, of course, making your photo look different, but these are not going to work altogether. So you have to decide one or the other. And for me, I think the most important thing for me here is highlight soft. And all of this come with a slider. As you can see, this is 0 and this is 200, which is too much, of course. And I want just a tad of that. And then I'm going to test the auto daylight, cloudy, white balance. And if I'm not satisfied, I can pick this tool and pick my own white. I can pick my own white balance, and I would usually try to find a mid-tone in the white. Let me check once again this, because I was actually satisfied with this. Cloudy maybe. Just going to add a tad more than what I would prefer. Okay, and actually less magenta. Okay, And then these two, the number 5 and the number 6, are new. So you didn't see this before. And these are to work on the skin tone. So this makes the skin more red. Now, this, of course, is too much. So if you want to make your skin more red, you can use the slider here. So this is 0, this is 200. But of course, you might have a different skin tone, lighting situation, etc. I like the skin to be more reddish and pink, so I might use that. And you might also need more light or more saturation, or less light, less saturation, or both. And then if you are not liking the more red, let's go back. This was the skin tone before. Undo, okay. And you can test the plus yellow. So this is neutral, plus red or plus yellow. And again, here you can do more light, more saturation, both, or less light, less saturation, and both. So you surely have all options here for all lighting situations and all type of skin tones. And again, I just wanted to add a touch of red. I don't think this image needs saturation or light. Actually changes in light or saturation. And then the other thing photographers really do struggle with or have a hard time, a real challenge editing, is greens. You know that. So I created also this, which is new. And the first thing that it does is desaturate. As you can see, this is now more saturated and this is desaturated. And of course, all of these come with a slider, so you can decide how much or how little you want to desaturate your greens. Otherwise, let me go back because I don't want that. You can make your greens more aqua or more yellow. As you can see, these are changing. I don't know if I need to focus more and zoom in. Aqua or yellow. And also desaturate, because I know a lot of photos you take are in harsh lighting situations, so you also need to desaturate, or you just might like the more muted green tones. So I also kind of like the greens as is, but if you wanted, you could use one of these. And then on this photo, I like to add film grain. Again, with a slider, you can increase or decrease, say hi to my dog, increase or decrease the amount of grain that you're adding to the photo, or just do off if it's not your vibe. And then this is the background, which I might not want to use here because I'm really pleased with the background, but I have included 2 more AI masks. So one is the subject, which is going to apply a lot of AI masks on your subjects. And these are going to work on smoothing the skin, darkening just a tad your hair, and enhancing your eyes and lips in the photo in your subject. Also, this come with a slider where you can do 0 or a very, I look like plastic here, but I wanted to include the slider also for this because you might have very far away subjects where you still wanted to do some tweak or enhance them. So that is where you would increase the slider here, not of course on a portrait that close like this one, because that is going to look awful. But since this is a portrait, you might want to reduce the style that is being applied. Otherwise, you can just leave it, or you can tweak that and go into the masks. And you might think, okay, I like the look on the hair, but the skin is actually something that I would like to tweak. So you might want to go on the body or face, and you can just change the amount of that. As you can see, the eyebrows, the style that is being applied to the eyebrows is still 74%, but the body skin is now 39%. I think this now looks different than what I wanted. So let's go back, and I just want a subtle effect of that. Just softening my skin, and that's it. Also, the sky recover, it's new. Let me zoom in for you. And this is going to be very helpful for you, especially when you we're not able to maintain details in the sky. So again, this comes with a slider. This is a very enhanced style because I increased the amount. This is 0, so this was the sky before. And this helps you recover those details in the background. Sorry, not in the background, in the sky. I actually like it. I like how I'm now able to see all of the clouds that were in the sky. And for me, that is done. That is the edit that I would do on this photo. And that's it. I'm really pleased. Let's move forward because as you can see, we have a lot of other challenging lighting situations to test. So first of all, I am going to just paste the crop, not the crop. Why do I always say crop? It's the aspect ratio. You know what I mean. And I love this photo so much. Let me check which. I really like the classic here. I am not drawn to the warmer shadows, so I will click on this one, but a lot of my clients are, so you might choose another profile. Lens correction on. I actually like that. Probably it's just something like that. All soft. I'm not sure because I like the harsh shadows there. Let me just decrease the amount. And now I'm pleased with that. Auto white balance. This was shot indoor without flash, if you're wondering. Cloudy shade flash. What does flash? Flash decreases the warmth in the photo. I might just want to do this manually, or you might just want to pick this tool and choose your white balance. I'm just going to decrease the warmth manually. Now this might be too warm or too cool for you. Remember that you can always tweak this. Let's move forward with, oh, I didn't show you this before. I also added the color grading where you can adjust from here, shadows cool, shadows warm, highlights cool, highlights warm, and reset color grading. And of course, while you're editing, if you decide, actually, I might prefer the other one, you can always hover over the other profiles and see how those would look. Like this would really enhance the warm tones of the wood there. Again, I'm satisfied with this one. Sorry, I wanted to show you more, but let me. Oh, I love the cooler shadows. Probably less than what was applied there, but this is so my vibe. I really like the contrast between warm tones and cool tones. See how this is now cooler here, but these are still very warm. I love this photo. I love this photo. There's nothing clipping here. I just checked. Warm tones we don't have, but we do have the wood, so you might want to change the color of the wood there. I'm actually very satisfied with the wood as is. I don't want to change the greens, but if you want it, this is green primary, so it's also slightly affecting the warm tones there, as you can see, but I'm pretty pleased with how it is. Always want to add medium format grain, but if it's not your vibe, you can decrease that. And I think I am than as is. I love this photo so much. Let me show you the before and after. I think what I like about these presets and profiles that I created is that I'm able to enhance what is already there. I am not disrupting the photo in the tones and the colors that are there. Love it. Now let's move forward because we have another skin tone here to test. So this one was shot on a very cloudy day. It was our last day at the beach. I have just pasted the aspect ratio. I don't want to do anything else, and I'm going to test this. So for this photo, you might want to test the softer. So let's test the softer. I'm not going to use the warmer ones because that is not my vibes, but just know that since I'm not backlit because the sun was here, but it's still affecting my skin a lot. So you might want to use another one. Lens correction on. Half stop more is probably too much for me. And if you check the histogram, that also tells you that. But just a slight, a tad more of light, I would like. All soft, probably not. Even though I have these harsh shadows on my face, I would like to, I'm going to click on all soft and decrease the amount to what I think it's a good, and then just decreasing the shadows a tad. Auto white balance flash. No, no, thank you. Actually, this is too washed out for me. Sorry, I wanted to test this for you, but my style, I don't know, I like both, but I like how my skin has more vibrance, more life with the classic one. So pardon me if I test this one again. Now I really like this, and I like the flash, but I want to tweak that. I want more magenta and more warmth in here and decrease the shadows just a tad. Okay, I am happy with the skin tone as is. No greens that I want to change. What I want to do is Portra 400 enhancer for the subject because as you can see, there are a few blemishes there that I would like to soften, but of course this is very close up. So this is 0. Let me go up until probably 30. And yeah, that's it. I'm not going to do much more sky recover just because I would like to recover a few details back there. So I'm going to decrease the amount here because that is too much. Something like that. And I'm really pleased with the photo as is now. Let me show you how the softer version would look like. This is the classic and this is the softer. More warm. Okay. And let me show you the before and after raw file and the edited version. Did I apply the grain? Because I cannot see it. Now I see it. Probably less grain because this is very close up. Something like that. I'm really pleased with this photo. Let's move forward. I was like, I'm going to only edit 27 photos because this video otherwise is going to be too long. It's already been 19 minutes. Okay. Very beautiful photo. I might just. Which one do you prefer? Classic, warmer. I'm sorry. I always choose the classic one. Ooh, this is beautiful. Let me test. Oh, I don't like the all soft. I don't know how useful these are because I'm always choosing Shadow School. I'm pretty happy with the. Yeah, what I wanted to say is that I'm always using the same. And if you have my course, you know that I always suggest editing one photo in a set of photos that are very similar in terms of lighting condition and location, so that you can then just sync the settings on that batch of photos. So I am showing you here just because I'm testing the presets and the profiles, but I would not recommend taking this long to edit a set of photos, of course, or a catalog entirely. I would only focus on a small number of photos and really test these and then just sync the settings. I hope I'm making sense, but so auto white balance, flash, shade. Shade is always very warm for my taste. As shot, daylight. It's too warm for me, sorry. Something like that. And I would like to lift the blacks just a tad. I love this photo. Okay, shadows cool, shadows warm. No reds and no greens that I want to change, but just showing you how that would look. Film grain on. The subject is so far away and so small that I don't think it makes any sense to use the enhancer for the subject. Sky recover, we don't need, so I would just move forward. This photo is so beautiful. Okay, here I am in the shade. This is an open shade photo. Let me just center this. Okay, classic or soft, which I actually love. This is warmer. Too warm for me. Okay, if you're ever struggling with choosing one of these profiles, sorry, I will click very quickly on the auto white balance or the shade or flash. I'm sorry. Or just choose your preferred white balance. I think I like something around here. And then you can go back to hovering over this and choose the ones that you prefer. I think this is too magenta. That's better. Okay, lens correction on, plus half stop of light. Highlight soft. I just want to do highlight soft here. And I'm happy with the skin, but the skin more red I quite like. Do we think that this needs more saturation as well? Just a tad. Of course, this is too much, but this is 0. Let's go around here. I definitely want the background to look softer and cooler. So I'm going to apply the Portra 400 film softness background and I'm going to adjust that. Okay, film grain on. And lastly, once this is finished, I'm going to do the enhancer for the subject and I'm going to decrease that because I am very close to the camera. But of course, this is personal preference. For me, this is too much. I can see that my skin is edited. So this is 0. And I just want to attach what I like about this AI mask. And the reason why I use it is that it softens the contrast on the skin. And I really like that. Of course, it helps with blemishes if you have. And I think it emulates the look of film where you don't have too much detail. Does that make sense? Okay, this is the before and after of this photo. We were able to recover a lot of details in the shade there. If Lightroom shows us the final result. The only thing that I would change about this photo, looking at it right now, is that I would like to soften the background even more and just get more shadows here, more contrast on me. And that's it. Let's move forward with another very different lighting situations because this is very harsh. This was a beautiful beach in Spain. Really love this photo. This is one of those photos where I might like the softer version, but you might not. And oh, I love the warmer tones here in the shade, in the shadows. Which one do we prefer, the neutral or the warmer? Kind of like the neutral. Lens correction on, half stop more of light. Let's test. And then we can do highlights soft or all soft. I don't know. Let's do all soft and decrease that. Something like that. And auto white balance, daylight, cloudy, flash. This is personal preference. So I would either go with cloudy or shade. Let's start from cloudy. Is that I think it's okay. What I'm not liking is that the skin tones here are very yellow. So one thing that I would definitely test is the warm tones, more red and more light, because all of those are in the shade. No greens that I would like to change. The grain, and I think that is it. If it is bothering you that the sky is this bright, you can use the sky recover and of course tweak that. This is 0, this is 200. I will stay somewhere here in the middle. And I really like this photo. Oh, I didn't show you the before and after. Before and after. Beautiful. Let's edit this. This is actually even not in focus because we shot this without a flipping screen. So, but I wanted to show you this because this is very harsh. And I would definitely go with a softer version with cooler shadows because this is very warm. And then I would not add light. I would do all soft. I would do auto white balance, cloudy, daylight, shade. Yeah. I mean, there's not much that we can do. This is personal preference. I like the skin tones as is, but if you wanted to change those, you can definitely do that. And then I would like to just add a little bit of grain and film softness to the background. Yeah, that's better. Okay. What about this? Noise correction. Half stop of light is too much, but I'm liking the overexposed style here. I might not do any of these because I like the contrast as is. Auto white balance, daylight changes there. It's cooler and more, it adds more magenta. Cloudy, flash. You know what? I'm going to stay here with the as shot and decrease the warmth and add more magenta manually, which is less than what we were doing before. If you change your mind, you can shadows cool, shadows warm, use one of these. I'm happy with a photo. Let's test the greens here. We could desaturate, so desaturate or not, more aqua or not, more aqua and desaturate, more yellow, or yellow and desaturate. I'm happy with the greens as is. Grain, and that's it. Let's move forward. Didn't show you the before and after. Do you care to see the before and after? I think it's important to see how the photo was looking before and how it's looking now. Let's move forward with this photo. I was just reading a menu here and my partner took a photo of me. I want to crop it and choose one of these. I might want to choose the softer version, but not the warmer one. I know you might like this one, but I definitely like my skin. But we're going to test the other one in a second. I just want to first quickly adjust the photo, add more light. I know this is clipping, but we are going to recover that. Actually, let me do that right now for you so that it doesn't bother us. Clipping is going away. You can already see that from the histogram. And if you want to increase the amount of that, you can do that from here. So once Lightroom cooperates, we can test the all soft, all harsh, highlight soft, highlights harsh, no, shadow soft. I'm going with the all soft and I'm going to decrease the amount. Then auto white balance, daylight cloudy, shade, flash. What if I like it as is? Cloudy, daylight. Liking that it's adding more magenta. So I'm going to do that manually. It's adding more magenta and it's removing a tad of warmth. Again, this is personal preference, guys, but I like it this way. This is what I like. And shadows cool, shadows warm, highlights cool, highlights warm, or reset color grading. If you're not happy with the skin tone, you can change that. You can add more red, increase, decrease saturation, change that to more yellow. I'm happy with the skin tone. Let me add more light. Just want to give the photo more dimension. And there are not many greens or green primary to edit here, but you can test those. Film grain on. And then I'm going to do subject because it's also going to darken the root of my hair, which I really like to have those. See, this is too much for me as an effect, so I'm going to decrease that, but of course feel free to choose the amount that works best for you. Is this too much still? I love it. This is the before and this is the after. Now, I did not use the film softener background because I think it's already looking great. But if you wanted, you could use that. What I'm also liking is that is not the raw file. What that is? Let me show you the real raw file because I just noticed that that was not the raw file. And what I was saying is that I really like the details in the breaks here and also the cooler tones that we were able to recover from all of this part that is in the shade, still maintaining a good skin tone. Now, if there is anything that is bothering you in a photo that has a similar lighting condition, for example, it could be the skin tone on my arm there. This is what I would do if this was, I'm not bothering too much because this is a photo of me for me. But if this was for a client and I knew the client was as detail oriented as I am, this is what I would do to this part of the photo. I would create a radial gradient because it's softening the edges, and I would leave the blacks here because it's also going to remove contrast, and especially tonal contrast from this part of the photo. So I'm going to show you the before. Before? Okay, thank you. And after. Okay. So once again, before and after. You can also add a tad of yellow there if it's looking too cool, but I think it resembles the true tone of my skin in the shade. So I left that as is. This is a very simple shot that I took at the beach. It was almost midday, so it was very harsh lighting situation. Let me crop in and straighten very quickly. I'm not doing that here, but I always suggest editing with a reference if you are undecided. Wow, this is beautiful. Neutral shadows, warmer shadows, all of these look stunning. And I'm going with this one. I like the warmth there. I just would like to add a touch of magenta. What I'm not liking is their skin tone to me yellow, so I would definitely do more red. No saturation that I would like to add. Actually, I would like to remove saturation just a tad. Something like that is more in, and actually light. I think there's too much light in their skin there, but I would decrease the amount of that. That is more my vibe. That's it. There's nothing else that I would do to this photo. Let's move forward with this photo of my boyfriend in the partner in the shade with a very harsh Why is the word okay? I think I might be hungry now in my. Okay, the softer version with neutral shadows. Let's see how that works on his skin tone. Increase half of a stop. And let's already recover the sky. That's clipping. I don't want that to look artificial, so I'll leave it as is. I know that we are not clipping anymore, and that's it is enough for me. And I'm going to do not all soft, just highlight soft. Shadows cool, shadows warm, too warm for me, and more red and more light in his skin probably, but just a tad. And then, did I change the white balance? No. Daylight, cloudy, shade. Okay. And then grain. Okay. Before and after was very dark and very bright, so it was very contrasty to begin with. This is the end result, and I think it looks beautiful. Let me change the aspect ratio to 4:3, which is my personal preference to emulate the look of film. Okay. Can you tell that I am really... Okay, let's go with that. Undecided on which composition I prefer. Okay, I like the classic because the soft is too muted, and I kind of like the neutral or warm shadows. I'm going with the neutral, and let's see, because I hope that this is beautiful already. Not all soft. I kind of like it as is. Let's do highlight soft and decrease that, because just like to add very, very subtle effect. Auto white balance, daylight, cloudy, shade, flash. Daylight? I like this. Let's just add a tad more of warmth, because, or no, let's do this. Let's just add more warmth. I think it looks beautiful. And do we need more shadows? Okay. And warm tones, more red. And green primary, more aqua. And then grain, and that's it. I like the image as is now. And of course, you can always go back and check how the other ones were looking. I think also the warm shadows is looking beautifully, but it's changing the amount of warmth in the greens, and it's not my personal preference, the green tones to be that warm. So, but you have plenty of presets to play with and create your preferred version. I debated whether to include this photo of or not, because it's just a very quick snap of me having breakfast, having a coffee with not even a cool and cool, I mean a good background. But I thought, you know what, this is challenging and it could be helpful for somebody to show, because look at how warm this looks. So even before I would do auto white balance and then I would go back, which is already helping. We could also do flash, but I'm going with this. I like the softer version. Neutral shadows, warmer shadows. It might be too much for me. Let's start with this. And then I would do. Is this too much? Is it clipping? Just a tad. What? I don't like that it's clipping, but it's only clipping here. So instead of decreasing the whites on the entirety of the photo, I'm going to do that here, because otherwise I'm going to mess up with my skin. Let me check. It's resolved. Okay. How was the skin tone looking before? That is not the before, the raw file. This is. Sometimes I do check how the photo was looking before, just to make sure that I'm not that I'm staying true to tone. I like it. Maybe more magenta. Personal preference again. I like the background to be cooler, so and softer. So I'm going to use the AI mask that I created, and I'm going to add grain. Okay, better. I like now. It's probably too cool. So let's, because now it looks like a collage of Photoshop thing. Grain and subject. Can you transport me back to this moment? Okay, that is very fake as an effect. Thank you. Okay, I like this. And I think this photo looks beautiful. You might not want to use the background thing because now it looks too cool for you, but I really like that. And I just wanted to show you how the other ones would look. So this is the classic. It would add just some more touch more of vibrancy to the skin if that is your preference. The neutral shadows would add more warmth, and the warm shadows as well. And if you go with the softer version, but you like warmer tones, you can choose this one or this one. And then, of course, you have all of these presets to tweak the effect. My computer is struggling. Classic soft. Hmm. Hmm. I prefer the softer version and definitely the cooler shadows. And I want to do all soft, but just attach, something like that. And then I want to do auto white balance, daylight, cloudy, shade, or flash. I don't like this one. Daylight. So about the daylight, I like that it always adds more magenta, but it might be too cool even for me. So, especially because this was, of course, shot at midday in full sun. So I think this looks better. Let's go all the way up to 6,000. Okay. I like that this little boy is wearing this shirt with Pantene Classic on it, which is the exact same sweatshirt that I bought. And it's the name of the event, surfing event. And okay, shadows warm, shadows cool. But I definitely want to have the warmer tones more red. What about less light? I like that. And then I like the greens. So I wouldn't do anything. Medium format grain on. And that's it. What is bothering me is, I don't know. And this is the classic version. This is the soft. It's just less vibrant. I think I am going to edit this one and then I am going to take a break. So I might add the second part to this video, or I might see, actually this is already almost an hour long, so I am going to record the second part later in the afternoon, and I'm going to upload that one. Should I do it separately? No, I'm going to add that one. I don't know. Let's edit this photo and then I'm going to think about it. You'll see if this video ends, it's going to be linked down below the second part, or it's going to automatically be played for you. I like the classic. Neutral shadows. Lens correction on. One stop. Highlight soft. Auto white balance. Cloudy. Shade. I like the cloudy because the shade is too warm. And even though the sky is not clipping, it's almost clipping the whites there. So I would use the sky recover. And then I would use the subject enhancer. I think my hair really needs to be just a tad darker, because otherwise I look washed out. And might decrease the amount just a tad because I really like how this looks. And I wouldn't use the film softness for the background because it's already very soft. I like this image as is. What can I say? This is the before and this is the after. And as you can see, there's nothing clipping. We have a good amount of shadows, really good tones in the shade, in the shadows there. I chose the neutral shadows, but you can also go with the warmer shadows. See how that changes all of the tones in this part of the image, especially, but actually the majority of this photo is in the shadows, in the shade. So that changes that a lot. So if you think that this looks too blue, you can just choose the profile or add more warmth with the temperature slider, or this is going to affect the whole photo. So I would not use this. I would either use another profile or add the shadows warm presets on top, because this is only affecting the shadows. Okay, this was the last photo. I am going to take a quick break, lunch break, and I'm going to show you the other photos in just a second, or I might just add another video and link it down below. I actually think I'm going to do the second because I think it's going to be best for you, so that you can also take a break and come back and watch the second part. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.